Today's October 29th. Today's quote is entitled, "The external is a reflection of the internal." You can't grow outside until you grow inside. You know, a lot of times you might have this experience or see other people who are trying to accomplish something and they work very hard at it and they don't succeed. Because inside they have the wrong attitude. And external is a manifestation of internal. So although you may be working hard to achieve something, if you have the wrong attitude, then externally it doesn't show up. A lot of times when problems show up, it's not because of what we're doing, it's because of what we're thinking. It's because of who we are. So if you want to lift 300 pounds, that's like, 170 kgs, you can't just lift it. You have to be qualified to lift it. You have to have the strength to lift it. So sometimes in life, we're trying to achieve something, but internally, we're not able to achieve it. And so we achieve something else, and we can't figure out why is it that I'm achieving something else, because we haven't become the person we need to be to achieve this particular goal. At the present moment, we're the person who cannot achieve that goal. That's just who we are. So if we just work on the external goal without realizing we have to change ourselves, then we don't achieve the goal. So if you work on yourself, automatically things around you will get better. The external will reflect the internal. And we can give a good example of this. The environmental issue. If you study the environmental issue, you will see that at the heart of environmental problems is materialism. Because we're destroying the planet to produce more and more, what Prabhupada calls, I believe he calls it useless commodities. Things we don't really need, but to create so-called convenience and material improvement. Now, obviously, if people are poor in poor countries, they need that. But we're talking here about people in well-to-do countries that don't need all this. But greed is driving them to have more, and we're destroying forests and breeding animals and killing them and exploiting the earth and so forth, right? So now we're looking at problems with the environment and what we can do. We can pass regulations to control emissions of cars, of industry, etc., etc. But all of those problems are only external manifestations of the internal problem, which was this insatiable greed that drives our modern economy, that drives our modern culture. If you cure that problem, the environmental problem will automatically be cured. If you try to cure the environmental problem independent of dealing with that, it will only be a partial solution. It will not be a complete solution, because you might say, well, the cause of the environmental problem is air pollution or deforestation or this or that. That's not the cause. That's a symptom of the greed. So many times we look at problems, we don't realize those are not the problems, those are the symptoms. You're sick, that's the problem. No, it's a symptom of your lifestyle, of your eating, of your thinking. That's the problem. Not that you're sick. That's just the symptom of the real problem. So the problems with our planet are symptoms of this deeper problem, this greed. But the main thing we want to take from this quote is that in your spiritual life, if you want to achieve something higher and you're just working on it externally, I'm going to chant more rounds. Oh, great, you chant more bad rounds. Does that help? No. You have to chant rounds in the right mood. And when the mood is there, you automatically chant more rounds. And when the mood is there, the rounds will be amazing. And then Krishna consciousness will manifest in your life because it manifests from the inside out. It'll show up in your world. You can't fake it. I mean, some people try to fake that they're Krishna conscious. If you just be Krishna conscious internally, it'll show up everywhere. And if you're not, you could fake it, but it's not going to sustain you. You actually have to cultivate the attitude and mindset of a pure devotee. That's what we're trying to cultivate. And don't ever think that I can bypass that step and just do a lot of service and be successful, and automatically I'll be Krishna conscious. It might happen, but it's not the process. It's not guaranteed to happen that way.